Now recognize the gentlelady from Florida, Ms. Cammack, for her 5 minutes of questioning.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess we all got the memo on the blue blazers and black shirts today. Mr. Chairman, where'd you go wrong?
I'm a little off today, and some would say today is not an exception.
Well, I appreciate the chairman for hosting this very, very important oversight hearing, and thank you to the witnesses for being here. I'm going to start with you, Inspector General Gustafson. The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act established the Broadband Equity Access and Deployment Program, under which the National Telecommunications and Information Administration, NTIA, will distribute $42.45 billion in broadband infrastructure funding to states and certain territories. This program is structured as one big block grant to states, and then the states are responsible for awarding the funds to the entity that will be deploying the broadband in different parts of the state. Given that the NTIA does not have direct control over awarding funds to each grantee, what oversight challenges does that present for the agency in your office, particularly as we're trying to handle overbuilding in certain areas? Wow, this is a big one. Right. Take it away.
So there is no question that we believe that Commerce and Commerce OIG, that our responsibility does not, to your point, end at the block grant level. I mean, we are keenly aware that after the grants are going to be sent to the states based on the FCC maps, the funds are still supposed to be used. They don't lose their intended purpose. They're supposed to be used for that. And it is I will say it is a tremendous challenge in that all of a sudden you aren't talking about the conversations that we can have with NTIA. You're talking about innumerable state and local entities for a staff of, 2 teams, and even our total staff is under 200. So there are absolute challenges. What we have communicated to the department is that we want them, we want to be part of the outreach that is happening as the program is being rolled out. I mean, we want the state auditors and the local entities to know that the OIG is here, that Commerce is here, that there are still, that we are keenly interested in overseeing and being told and hearing about issues that are coming up. Because to your point, the issues on a block grant don't happen at that level. They happen 2, 3, 4 steps down. And so we will do our level best, to get that word out, but it's going to be a challenge because we are all of a sudden talking about hundreds of projects, probably thousands of projects.
Oh, I understand this is a gargantuan one, but I mean, $42 billion, right. We're gonna have to do better than our level best for sure, and I recognize that we're dealing with all the different states. And this actually follows right into my second question, where NTIA was recently directed by Congress to establish 6 new broadband programs over the last 3 years. Some of these programs have similar goals, but they have different statutory requirements, different funding levels, different timelines, et cetera. So have you guys had any discussions with NTIA before they established the programs to discuss how integrity was going to be accounted for and also to reduce the likelihood of fraud in these programs?
We have had conversations with NTIA. We have made it clear that while we cannot give our stamp of approval on what they're doing, we stand ready to talk about lessons learned and things that we would like to see as the oversight entity, things that we would like to see in the notices of funding opportunities that will allow the transparency needed to follow the money. So I think that those conversations have occurred. To your point, NTIA has not been in the business of broadband grants for a while, so they're having to kind of almost start over because BTOP was under ARA. It was many, many years ago. So there are grant-making entities within Department of Commerce. NOAA makes a lot of grants, NIST makes a lot of grants. So we've also emphasized the importance of it not being just an NTIA job, that there be conversations and working together with the other grant-making entities within Department of Commerce to make sure that those controls are being placed in. So the conversations are happening, but our work, of course, will really begin in earnest when the money.
Can you proactively, and are you proactively reaching out to states as we're dealing with these block grants to talk about what requirements are going to be happening or coming out? That way they can be compliant on the front end rather than catching up on the back end?
We are absolutely being proactive. I know other IGs involved in IIJR as well, and often it's a joint effort where we're appearing together, sometimes at state and local auditors conferences, at those at meetings. So we are, and for my office, and it's often a representative not just from audit, but from the investigative side, from the Office of Investigations, to talk about what the fraud indicators are, what the people should be looking for that might indicate that there's a problem. So we are having those discussions right now. And the nice thing about the IIJA working group is sometimes it's Department of Transportation who is out there, but I know that Mr. Soskin, is actually talking about the programs in general, so that again, that level of awareness is happening. Because to your point, a lot of people don't know what an OIG is, unless you're here. So it really is important to get that word out. And I say that as somebody who worked in a state auditor's office for 8 years, and we knew that GAO existed, but didn't really know about OIG. So it's important to have those proactive conversations.
Well, excellent. I know my time has expired. I'm way over, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.